Well, hello there. Happy Tuesday and welcome to today's video 3 recap of Building Winning Teams, a simple step-by-step guide. For those of you who have missed the series so far, Building Winning Teams is a video series that we've been releasing over the last week or so, providing you as business owners, leaders and managers with a simple step-by-step guide to building winning teams for your business. Hi there, I'm Kristy-Lee. Thanks so much for joining me. Great to have you here today. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great day, but if you are on the east coast of Australia, I do hope you're staying safe. It is awful out there. I hope you're not too affected by the flooding, particularly those in and around Sydney and also all the way up the coast. So take care if you are in those impacted areas, and I hope you are doing okay. But as I said, thanks for joining me here today. Today is our video 3 recap, where we're going to do some further training on the elements I discussed in video 3. And also, of course, I'm here to answer any of your questions. So if you are joining me live, or if you're catching the replay, you can always post a question directly under the video, and I'll come straight back and answer that for you. So don't be shy, because if you've got a question, likelihood is someone else is thinking the same question as well, and they'll actually really appreciate the answer too. So let's get into today's recap. So let's just take a step back and remind ourselves where we're at, because there's kind of been a weekend involved and everyone's heads are a little bit hazy. So let's take a little step back. Now, in video 1 of Building Winning Teams, a simple step-by-step guide, I walked you through what was possible really if you were to have a team in your business that were motivated, that were engaged, that were productive, that were actually helping you to drive the success of your business. One of the key frustrations business owners share with me is they feel like their team just aren't listening to them or aren't doing what they expect of them, that they don't think like them, and why can't they just get the job done? And that can often lead to things like frustration, sleepless nights, worried about having to have a difficult conversation with staff. I even know business owners and leaders of teams who have avoided going into work because they dreaded having to deal with a staff member. Whether or not they had to have a difficult conversation, this person had just worn them down to the point where they actively avoided going to the office. That is crazy. If you're the business owner, this is your business. No one employee should be having that impact on you, and certainly no team of employees should be having that impact on you. You know you can't do everything yourself, although sometimes it does seem easier if we do that. There's only so much we can do as just us. So whilst you can have success in your business doing all the things yourself, that success is always limited. I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek, and whilst I don't love reading books, which is something a lot of people are surprised about, I have read his book, The Infinite Game, and it is a game changer in terms of how we think about business. He describes the difference between a finite game and an infinite game. And a finite game is simply something like any football game. There's a defined end, there's a winner and a loser, and there's rules that we follow in between. But that's not the game we're playing when we have a business. If we were playing a finite game, we'd know that our business is going to end in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years' time, and we'd know what it looked like to win at that stage. But that's not the game we're in. We're in an infinite game in business, a game where we want to stay in the game as long as possible. That's our objective, and to continue to change the rules in order to do that. Now, we can't stay in the game if we're burnt out. We can't continue in the game if it's just us, because there's a capacity as to what we can do. You can have success in your business by doing all the things yourself. I've been there. It's been very profitable, but that's where it ends. Not only will you be burnt out and over it, but also that model delivers you no freedom. There's no holidays, there's no days off, there's no weekends off, and your business is limited by your time and energy. So in order to have a business that's going to really deliver you both success and any sense of freedom, because unless you're a workaholic, you didn't get into business for your love of working 80+ hours a week, I'm sure. It's not why I got into business, that's for sure. So unless that's you, then in order to have that business that delivers the success and delivers the freedom, you're going to need a team. And not just any team, you're going to need a winning team. And in video 1, we spoke about what would be possible for you if you had that winning team. What would it look like? What sort of financial freedom would it deliver? What sort of lifestyle freedom? How would you feel about being able to take a step away for even just a day and not be drowned in fear that the phone was going to ring 75 times, that the emails were going to be going off, and if you didn't answer them, things were going to fall apart? Imagine that sense of freedom. Now, if you're already achieving that, can you imagine if you could do that for a week, maybe even a month, and your business is still successful? It's still delivering profits throughout this entire time, and things are getting done by your team, not by you. That is what's possible in our business when we build a winning team. And in video 1, we took the first step in this pathway. Now, it's a pathway I've introduced you to, and it's the people pathway. It's the exact method and process that I have developed after working with businesses for 20 years on all aspects of their people management and human resources. It's a pathway I've developed also through my own experience of building teams of great but not winning teams, and of also doing it all myself and the amount of success but not freedom that comes with that. This is the proven pathway that other savvy and successful business owners are using right now to build teams that drive their business performance and deliver them that success and freedom that they craved and what they got into business for. So the first step on the pathway is what we discussed in video 1, and that is planning. Not always our favorite task as entrepreneurs. We tend to like shiny objects and get on with other things. But if we fail to plan, we are planning to fail. So we spoke about just one element of the planning process, and that was the clean slate exercise that I walked you through, which led us directly into video 2, where we spoke about having the right people in the right roles at the right time for your business, not for your competitor's business, not for your friend down the road's business, not for the business you think you should be, for your business right now. Because that is the fundamental aspect of having a winning team, of building a winning team, is knowing what are the right roles, finding the right people for those roles, and doing that at the right time for your business. And in video 2, we went through that process of how we do that. The planning that we did in video 1 set us up to know when the right time was, so we'd already ticked that box. So then we looked at creating the right roles with our position descriptions and, importantly, our KPIs, which is so important in measuring performance, and also how to find these right people. What type of recruitment campaign do we need to hold to attract these people like magnets towards us, these ideal applicants? And then what process do we need to go through to ensure that we are finding that golden nugget, that needle in the haystack of all those applications? So that's what we walked through in video 2, which is the second step effectively in the people pathway. Now, if you've already watched video 3, which landed with you yesterday, so hopefully you've had a chance to watch it. If not, no problems, plenty of time to catch up. Video 3, we took the next step. And this is where you, as the business owner, as the leader, as the manager of the team, you need to take a step up. You need to step into your leadership role, because in order to build a winning team, you need to be a winning leader. James Wedmore says, A players won't work for B leaders. So you can go through all the trouble of finding a superstar employee, but if you're not a great leader, they will not stay. If you're not a great leader, you won't have high engagement in your business. Your team won't be invested that extra level to give you that extra bit of commitment. And what does that mean? I've shared with you previously some of the statistics around employee engagement, and they're really simple. They're tried and tested. This is proven research, the most recent one done by Gallup, very reliable source. Highly engaged teams are up to 17% more productive than their disengaged counterparts. So by putting in place some simple engagement strategies, you can increase productivity by 17%, which for me is a pretty good result. If my team could be 17% more productive just by me doing a few things as a leader, I'm in for that. But here's the kicker. That 17% improvement in productivity gives you a 20+% increase in profitability. We're talking real bottom line results. Again, by having some simple engagement strategies in place, you can boost your business profitability by 20+%. Now, does that have you listening? Because it certainly was of interest to me. So how can we do that? And this is what we started to share in video 3. Now, there are loads of different engagement and retention strategies, things that are going to motivate your team to drive that productivity and profitability. And in video 3, I shared 3 different ways. Now, you don't have to do all of these at once, just start with one. So the 3 that I shared in video 3 are really simple ones, no-brainers that you should be doing anyway to have a winning team, but these will drive engagement. Do you remember what they were? First off, we had onboarding, because you only get one chance to make a great first impression. The first period of time a new employee has with you is critical to setting them up for success and engaging with the rest of the team. So we spoke about onboarding. We spoke about team meetings. Now, people do say to me, really? Is that going to improve engagement? Yes, it does, because it creates a format, a framework for communication, for regular communication. It gives you an opportunity to regularly be tying your people back into your company's vision, giving them direction, giving them communication. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. And we spoke about performance reviews. And again, this is one that people think, does that actually excite people and motivate people? It sure does. When I walk into a business and there is a team of disengaged employees that are frustrated over it or simply just baseline, one of the main things they will tell me is that they're frustrated that they have not had an opportunity to have proper performance reviews. I shared with you in video 3 that our employees want just 3 things fundamentally from us. They want to know what's expected of them, they want to know how they're doing against those expectations, and they want to know what the future holds. Onboarding, team meetings, and performance reviews all help us to fulfill those fundamental basic requirements. It's like a Maslow's hierarchy. That's where we start. We need to deliver those things first. And they're not hard, are they? What do we expect from them? How are they going against those expectations? And what does the future hold? But how good are we really at doing that in our business right now? How good are you really at doing that in your business right now? So often as business owners, we think we've communicated what we expect from our employees, but have we been really clear? Or are we expecting them to read our minds? Because they can't. And we shouldn't expect them to think like us, because it's not their business. This is not their baby. This is not their passion project. This is not the thing that their entire life is invested into. They are an employee. It's our job to engage them in the vision so that they come along the journey with us, but we cannot expect them to think like us or to read our mind. We need to be really clear with our communication as to what we expect from them. So the first option that I gave you in video 3 was onboarding. Now, if you are not hiring staff right now, do not start with your onboarding process. You should definitely start with team meetings or performance reviews. But if you are hiring staff, definitely go here and get this done. Because if you don't have a great onboarding process, you are leaving money on the table, because it's going to take longer, if at all, for that employee to get engaged. You're leaving productivity and profitability on the table if you don't have a great onboarding process. Now, there are lots of different ways you can onboard your team, but I want you to really look at the first year with them in that role as being part of that onboarding process. And of course, we're particularly focused on the early part. Day 1, week 1, month 1, and quarter 1. And of course, then we extend that out to the 6-month probationary period. Now, if you've got nothing else in place in terms of onboarding, or if your onboarding process is getting an employee to sit in front of a screen and read policies or watch videos or read a manuscript of policies and procedures that's that big, and that is their introduction to your business, then I want you to turn that around and start here. Day 1 of their onboarding process should focus on the place, getting them familiar and orientated with their work environment. The sooner someone feels comfortable and safe in their work environment, the sooner they can concentrate on what you need them to. So day 1, we focus on the place, the work environment. Week 1, we focus on the people, all the people they need to be working with. Not just meeting them once and having a little handshake. I'm talking spending time with them, understanding where this role fits into the wider ecosystem for business, understanding what all the different departments do so that this person can truly understand how their role impacts the others and how it's part of the bigger machinery that is the business. Month 1 is all about their role. By the end of month 1, you want them to have a fairly solid grasp of their role. They may not be experts in every part, because unless they're doing things every day, that's not going to be the case. But you do want them to have a fairly solid understanding of their role by month 1. And at the end of quarter 1, it's about the fit. Have they settled into the team? Are they engaged? Are they a welcome and wanted part of the team? And are they engaged with wanting to be there in the workplace? So the place, the people, the role, and the fit. are where you want to focus. Now, of course, throughout this, you're also getting documents reviewed and signed. You're making sure they understand the policies and procedures. You're talking to them about their business history, the business vision, about the goals and the objectives and all of those things. That's all getting woven through. But if you're sitting someone in front of a screen to read document after document and thinking that that is a great way for them to start with you, I hate to tell you, but it's the worst way for them to start with you. Or if you're just saying, there's your desk, off you go, equally bad. So that could be a great onboarding process. As I said, lots of different ways to approach this, but really think about what you're getting out of your onboarding. The second thing I recommended was regular team meetings. Especially in a smaller business, I'm a massive fan of weekly team meetings, but for some of you, it may not be weekly, but no less than once a month. Now, your team meetings are an amazing opportunity for you to be communicating with your team and to create a forum for them to communicate with you. Now, whilst your role is to lead the team meeting, your role is not to do all the talking. You want to be sharing that around. You want to be inviting your team to participate. And you want to have a structure for that. Because if you've got introverted team members, throwing them in the deep end and just saying, here, tell us what you think without any planning will absolutely terrify them and they won't enjoy it. So you want to have a structure that everyone knows about, which is how you're going to approach the team meeting. You want to be talking about the wins since the last team meeting, the challenges, what problems have we got that we need to workshop together. You perhaps want to be looking at recognizing and rewarding your top performers in these team meetings. Your team meetings are an opportunity for you to reinforce what are we expecting from the team and how are they doing against those expectations, and what does the future hold? What does the next week or month look like so we can start to work towards that? This is an opportunity to really entrench your values in your team over and over again. Now, I encourage you to do team meetings and keep them consistent. Do not set a team meeting that you then don't turn up to or don't instigate. Make it happen. Make it a priority. Your team will thank you for it. And the third strategy that I shared in video 3 was, of course, performance reviews. Now, I know that some of us, and I've been here as well, we've participated in performance reviews at either end of the table where they've been an utter and total waste of time. Have you been there? I bet you have. But performance reviews can be super powerful when done well. Now, my favorite style of performance review right now is the quarterly review. Personally, I feel like we've moved on from annual reviews and it's just too long for it to be effective. Where a quarterly review can be really much simpler. It's a quicker amount of time each quarter. You're not having to try and find an hour, and it's more relevant because we all know what's happened in the last quarter and we all can plan for the quarter ahead. But right now, for most of us, thinking about a year ago, literally where we were, there's no way you could have anticipated the year that was about to come. And then again, thinking about a year in the future, who wants to try and figure all of that out? So quarterly is a much more reasonable and relevant rhythm for most businesses. Now, your performance reviews is a two-way conversation. It's an opportunity for your employee to tell you how they think they're going, what objectives and goals they want to set for themselves, where they're struggling and need more support, and what they want the future to look like for them in this business. And conversely, it's an opportunity for you to share your feedback as well. You don't want anyone walking out of a performance review thinking, I'm amazing, if they're not. And you don't want anyone shocked by what they're going to hear in a performance review if they're underperforming. If you've got someone that's underperforming, don't leave it till the next quarter to let them know about that. Our employees want to know what's expected of them, how they're doing against those expectations. Performance reviews are the primary place to do that, especially when you're tying that future goal. If you're not doing performance reviews in your business right now, please get them in place. All of these 3 strategies I've shared are really simple, and they will all improve employee engagement when done well. We spoke in video 3 that this is your time to step up. This is not about your employees. This is about you as a leader making these things happen, making these things work within your business, making them consistent, making them relevant, and improving that engagement with your team. Now, if you're catching the replay or if you're watching live and you've tried these things or you're stuck, please let me know. The purpose of this video series is for me to help you implement these strategies. So if you're thinking, I can't see how this is going to work for me, or I don't know how to do that, or what should I do here, please let me know below and I will be super happy to answer those questions for you. Now, our final video in this series, Building Winning Teams, will be with you tomorrow, 24th of March. And this video 4, is a doozy. In video 4, I'm going to share with you the entire blueprint of the people pathway. The entire blueprint that the other savvy and successful business owners that are following this framework are using right now to get the success, to boost the business performance, and to drive towards freedom within their business. They're implementing these strategies that are in the blueprint. They're following this process and they're getting amazing results. We've got members inside Your People-Powered Business who are hiring new staff members with much more ease and with much greater success. They're reducing staff turnover and they're increasing retention rates. We've got people that are starting to do their performance reviews, which is fabulous because they know that's going to engage their team. We've got members who are working a 4-day work week, which they've never been able to before. And guess what? Not only is the place not falling down, the team are absolutely fine and everything's humming along without them. So whatever that future vision looks like for you, building your winning team is going to help you get there. So please join me tomorrow for video 4, which will be in your inbox tomorrow, and get that exact blueprint. It'll be right there for you. Now, I will, of course, do another recap video from video 4. So that will be here on Facebook, 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 25th of March. So if you get the blueprint, again, if you've got questions and you want to know about implementation or there's anything at all that I can help get you unstuck with when it comes to building your winning team, join me on Facebook, 25th of March at 11 a.m. and I'll be here to share that with you. Thanks so much for joining me here today. I hope you have a wonderful day and I can't wait to join you for video 4.